Ah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you were listening to Isaac Cappy's The Gift with the Present with me. Every day is a gift indeed. Let's see, are we recording? We are live on YouTube. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, everyone. My name is Coach Lacey, and this is Rise and Shine. Welcome to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. I hope that you have already anchored into your wellness foundations this morning and found your foothold because we are going to tap into something that has a little bit of anti-gravity today. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you're notified every time I go live. I go live randomly in the morning because I am not constrained by time. I do not follow time like everyone else, so I will show up whenever I feel called to, which is every day, but the time might vary. Again, my name's Coach Lacey, and this is Rise and Shine. And today we're going to, of course, step into the deep side of the pool as usual. Ah, I'm gonna take a moment to sit with myself this morning. It is another Rise and Shine, another beautiful day. We made it through another dark night. Another dark night. And yesterday, when you watched yesterday's show, you'll know that yesterday was my stepdaughter's 18th birthday, and I am sitting in the sauce of reflection today of my own journey and just reflecting that my life is halfway over, everyone. And that is a weird realization to come to. And I had some deep reflections last night after her birthday, and we watched the movie Interstellar. If you haven't watched that, you need to. You need to. Two movies that all my people need to watch: Interstellar and Gravity with Sandra Bullock. I make a lot of references to Gravity, especially, but now Interstellar has slid forward into my mind again. And I have not watched it since I seen it. I saw it in the theater and then I saw it again and then we watched it again because it's one of those movies you have to watch a few times. And it got me thinking about, God, you guys, it got me thinking about 5D reality, 4D dimensions, and communication beyond time, space, reality, and like tuning into the unseen and just listening to the messages and the whispers. And I just knowing that it's not coming from logic, but something deeper. And I had like a really trippy moment in the shower last night. I just had like some really, I'm not gonna talk about it, but it was really trippy. I'm gonna talk about it with the person that like came into my consciousness later, and it's gonna be really weird. And anyways, if you want to talk to me about that, get in my inbox because it was really wild, and I'm like, wow. So I, you know, I in the Christian world is so funny because they have this, like, a lot of vanilla Christians have this weird thought that there's no such things as angels and demons and frequency and vibration, and I feel like they're totally missing the boat because that's everything. It's everything. It's everything. And I can't quite explain that to everyone in the best way. But the today I just really I want to go into the woo-woo. It's not woo-woo though, and the woo-woo is from God. So that's the one thing that we need to recognize. So magic, man, magic. All magic comes with a price, and magic is God's. Like, and magic is God's. And the reason we are called not to use ritual magic is because we're supposed to rely on the miracles of God and our communication with God in order to make miracles manifest into this reality. And it's all about communication, right? It's all about like something deeper. And communication is like non-physical the non-physical reality is real. And so like there's all these vanilla Christians out there who like think that this is a woo-woo concept, but it's not. You guys are watching me through a computer. Unless you're Amish, we are all practicing in a form of witchcraft, but it's God's will because God wanted us to evolve as people. So at what point is it God's will and at what point is it witchcraft, right? Like, well, if you're doing rituals in order to have a miracle, that's considered that is what God is talking about. Like if you're relying on something other than God, your connection to the divine to manifest a reality, if you're relying on, rocks or if you're relying on praying to, it's there are levels of understanding. And in my own life, I just reached this level of like level 4 understanding when it comes to like spirituality and stuff, like in like the coaching world. I reached like level 4. Like I consider there's like 7 levels, and I feel like I'm at level 4 or maybe even level 5 for like understanding. Right. And level 7 would be like God, like, and so like as a person goes, because of my own walk and my studies and just my own experiences, I have a unique ability to see beyond this time space, and I'm starting to see this 5D thing. And you hear a lot of people in this woo-woo world talk about the 5D, and like the 4D reality, and Christians shove it off like it's nothing, like, oh, that's so woo-woo, that's new age, what is that? And I'm here to be the bridge. God told me last night I'm the bridge. And so that's my purpose, is to be the bridge. There's lots of bridges. I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge. There's lots of bridges in the world. Like there's so many bridges you can cross. But I feel like when you have a bridge and then you connect it to a good road, like someone who really understands, and then it goes to another bridge, we can actually get there, right? And so I've been guided spiritually to connect to another bridge, and it's really interesting. And so this isn't woo woo. So my Christian people, if you're watching me, you're probably like, what is she on? This stuff's real. This is the language of God. Energy, frequency, vibration, music. That's the late math. That's God's language. Like we speak English, but if you speak math, science, music, frequency and vibration, you are closer to speaking God's language than you would be just down here, like speaking some, English. Like it's not so literal. Like some people are stuck down in the literal, and they're afraid of the woo. And it's like, well, don't be afraid of the woo. It doesn't mean you're gonna go to hell. Like hell is, hell is like a realm. Like I don't want to go into that today. So what I do want to go into today is the woo-woo concept. For my science people, science already proves that time is not linear and that we exist in multiple dimensions of an experience all at once. And that means that like my grandma is right here with me, right? And when we don't feel them, we really don't know how to listen. And just because we can't see something doesn't mean that it's not tangibly real. And last night I was watching Interstellar again, and it was the first time I'd seen it since my brother died, and since my grandma, my uncle, my other uncle, Jayless, my dog, all my people have died. And fuck, I was crying the whole time. I was crying like a baby. Like my eyes are literally swollen from the amount of crying that I was doing from watching this movie, because it just ripped my heart open. It ripped my heart open, and it had me contemplating the whole nature of reality, especially with my daughter sitting next to me, and like her story and like my story and her dad's story and even like her mom's story, like my stepdaughter, like all of our stories converging, especially my dad and hers and her, like all three of us, we are a miracle. Like we're literally just a miracle. And this thing with Murph in the movie, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but if you haven't, if you've seen it, you remember that scene. Oh my God, I'm like crying, like I'm about to cry. So if I cry, I'm sorry. That Murph, Murph, tell him to stay, tell him to stay. And he like realizes he's the ghost all along. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Ah! And then he's like, it was her. It was her all along. It was her. It was her. And like, I literally started crying. I actually grabbed Faye and I was like, it's you. And she's like, stop it. Get off me. Like, get off me. Like, what are you talking about? But it's like, it got me thinking. It's like, our life is not our own, number one. We have no idea what our future holds, number two. And it really got me thinking about my loved ones that are gone. Like, whoa. Okay, like my cousin and I, after her dad died, my Uncle Mike, we were driving up to see his grave site because I didn't go to the funeral because I was broke. I didn't have money. And frankly, after going to my brother's funeral, I did not want to see my uncle dead. And I actually really regret not going to the funeral because I wanted to be with my family and it would have been a good moment to be there for my grandma and like be there with them. But I was just like, my brother had killed himself the year before and like, or 2 years before that. And I had flipped, I was just in a really bad mental place. And honestly, I was addicted to gabapentin at that time. And so I was not there. I didn't have any money. I was like broke. So anyways, we were driving up to my uncle's grave and there's two songs that my uncle are tied to my uncle. One song is The Eye of the Storm, and it's in the eye of the storm. You remain in control. Um, in the middle of the storm, you fill my soul. You alone are the anchor that fills my heart. Uh, the your love surrounds me in the eye of the storm. My uncle was singing that when he died in the emergency room. And the other song was Well Done. Someone played that at his funeral, Well Done by the Afters. And we were driving up to his grave and we're talking about him and then that song Well Done came on. And it was so wild because Brittany and I were like, we're like sisters. She was born January 11th. I was born February 11th. Same year. We're like sisters. We just start bawling. Oh my gosh. And then it was my own time. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was thinking about my grandma. My grandma had died, and then that song, The Eye of the Storm came on my Spotify, and I don't have like Christian music on there. I did at the time I didn't, and it just like randomly came on, and I was just like, "What's wild?" There's been so many times where like things have happened, like crows. Oh my God! After Hunter died, still to this day, everyone can attest to you, murders of crows. Crows. They follow me, twin crows. So there's a Odin's crows. Um a Viking tale, Odin's crows, they bring the good news of the day. My brothers were twins. The crows were twins, the twin crows. I see twin crows everywhere. Everywhere. They followed me all the way to his funeral. Super wild. Like still to this day, I have crows. I probably have a crow in my yard right now. Crows follow me everywhere I go. It's so weird. And ravens, I've seen like I've walked one day I was walking my dog and there was like a raccoon loose and this I had walked past two different crows that had their heads ripped off. It was wild. Anyways, but the scene it got me thinking, what if the reason that we're not hearing people is because they're not speaking, but we're just like not turned on to it, right? Like what if we're just not tuned in? What if we're just not tuned into it? Think about it. Every single day, we are surrounded by frequencies we can't see. Like, you can't explain how you're watching me right now, right? Like, Wi-Fi signals. You can't see them, but they're there, right? Like, radio waves. They exist, but unless you're dialed into the right station, you'll never hear the message. And energy fields, like energy, we know everything vibrates at different frequencies, right? So, what if our emotions and our state of being and our willingness to listen are the dial that tunes us into what we think we've lost? Like, what if it's not lost? What if it's right there next to us? You know, we don't understand. We like don't know. We have no idea. What if our emotions and our state of being and like our willingness to listen are actually just the dial that tunes us into what we think we've lost? Yeah, I've had some super profound experiences in EGALA, equine therapy, where it's therapy with the horses. And I felt things so deeply that words weren't even necessary. And I could sense the unspoken. And I could go on and on and on. And I'm on a time crunch today, so I'm gonna just reel it in here. I have so many cool stories, but I'm on a time crunch, so I'm gonna reel it in. I've just had all these moments that I felt like a presence, like that moment in Interstellar where she reaches out and touches his hand in the ship. Oh my gosh. It's not a dream, not a memory. It's like a real living, breathing presence. Have you ever had that? It's wild. Like a song that comes on the radio at the exact moment that you're asking for it. Like I could go on. I could go on. I could truly, truly go on, but I'm not going to. Like a number that keeps showing up, a thought that enters your mind so clearly that you just know that it was not yours. Just know. You just know. Like we are radios, man. We tune in and we dismiss these things way too easily. And I really truly believe the reason that things aren't happening quickly in the geopolitical front, like arrests aren't happening, is because we are not getting into a space of meditation and like thinking about it in this other space, the 5D reality. There's like another space. And I'm just like, what if we need to just stop dismissing these signs? Like we need to stop. Like all week I've been reflecting on how we show up in the world, how we interact with our thoughts, our emotions, our dreams, our people, like this what I've been that's what I'm talking about, right? Like we're always an energetic match for something. We think things are random, but they're not. They're not random. We're always an energetic match. Always. Your life right now, it's a direct match for your current level of consciousness. And when I figured that out, it shifted me. The last like month, I shifted into a different level and it's reflecting everywhere in my life. The people in my life, the opportunities I have or the ones I don't have, the things that repeat themselves and the patterns that don't seem to break. Do you have that? Like, think about it, the people in your life, the opportunities that you're faced with, the things that are repeating themselves, the patterns that won't break. All of that is it's a match for your energy of what you're putting out. And all of it, every single bit of it. So if we were to hear differently, uh, see differently, live differently, show up differently, if we were to make a conscious, concerted effort to make a change and show up in the way that we want to show, like the way that impacts the world and creates a generational ripple effect for for generations to come, then we have to shift those frequencies. As a collective, we have to shift frequency into this 5D reality. And it's happening. And this is why wellness foundations matter. That is why the wellness foundations matter. That is why you are Sandra Bellick. You're about ready to get flipped off into gravity, into anti-gravity. You need to anchor in so that you are not a victim to what isn't there or what's there. Like so you're not a victim to a circumstance. This is why the foundations matter. This is why prayer and faith matter. Like the other reality, it's there's something else. There's something else. And this is why it's so important to take care of your physical body while we're here and our mental health, because if our physical body is healthy, then can our mental health is strong, and then our spiritual health, we're able to connect up into that different space reality, the 5D. That's like it's a different reality. I can't explain it, but I've experienced it. And I've experienced it on drugs and off drugs, and like I'll tell you what, the experiences I've had off drugs are way more profound than the ones I've had on drugs, because the ones that are on drugs, like the spirits that come from like ayahuasca, acid, all that stuff, the not all spirits are good. You don't want to invite all spirits into your home. That's why I only invite the Holy Spirit, right? And like and ancestor bloodlines, we're spirits too, you know. That's why it all matters. Because if we're running on fear, exhaustion, or stress, or resentment, and we're like, guess what we're a match for? More of that. Yesterday or the day before, whatever, I was furious about my tagline getting ripped off from someone I worked with. Ugh, gross, cringe. I was so cringed out. I was super pissed. And I let myself be mad. I let myself spill the tea. I let myself feel that full weight of anger and the betrayal and the injustice. And I felt where that was coming from. like the seed, and it was rejection. It was this rejection of I'm not their vibe. I'm not, cool enough or whatever, like it wasn't even I'm actually cooler, but that vibe just wasn't my vibe. It's like this vanilla vibe. I'm chocolate. Like I'm the party cup. I'm the what's it called? Blue spoon yogurt. Like I'm the blue spoon. Like you get to fill like I got all the things. That was vanilla. That's I know I'm not I don't fit in there. I don't fit into vanilla land. I don't fit into like this surface level. I don't fit in. And if you live on the surface, I don't fit in with you, period. And it's just gonna happen. I get popped out like a zit. And I was like really thinking about my sign. I'm the Aquarius. I never understood what my sign was until this week. Why I was what the hell the water bearer was. It means I'm meant to pour into other people. I'm pouring into other people, pouring in my life force energy into other people. But if I'm spilling my water all over the place and I haven't figured out how to hold on to my water pot, then I'm gonna spill it all over. And that's what I've been doing until now. Now I'm pouring it in other people. That's me. That's me. I'm the water bearer. I'm pouring water. I'm pouring life into you guys right now with this. This is how I pour life. That's it. And everywhere we go. But I had to realize I had to make a choice that if I was going to sit in these frequencies of anger and resentment, or if I was going to rise above, let it go and shift out of it. And I chose to shift real quick, chose to shift. The very next day, yesterday, I had like this incredible, or whatever, the very day, that day, I had this incredible experience with a naturopath. It was so healing for me. I was actually the patient for once. Somebody I didn't work for, which is a huge deal. Someone who actually like really cared about my health and not cared about whether I was doing good work for them or whatever they needed for them. Like this woman cared about me. And I finally felt like aligned. I felt seen for the first time ever by a naturopathic physician. I felt seen for my health and not just for my good work. There was no spect. We always joke with my dog, he expects. Beetle expects. He expects a treat. When you work for someone and they always expect, and you can't really there's like an energetic exchange. You're working for somebody and they're supposed to be your doctor. Well, there's always a level of spect. And same on for the employee, there's always a level of spect, so like this level of spect, it gets in the way. And so I wasn't being seen in my health. And so my health has been um at the mercy of my own blind spots and at the mercy of someone else's blind spots. So I'm really happy that I'm finally in alignment. And I realized that I'm exactly where I need to be right now. Like, no matter what happens, like my miracle that I was going on about, it hasn't yet transpired. And I had a moment this morning where I'm like, well, who am I to receive miracles? I don't receive miracles. I've never. God does not bestow miracles upon me. But my life is a miracle, and little things are a miracle. My life is fueled by small miracles. And maybe it's not meant to have big miracles because God knew that if I have big miracles, um, I wouldn't have the fire under my ass. I don't know. But because of my walk and the life I've lived and the difficulties and not having, I've been broke as hell for so long. Like, and that's been a bone of contention in a lot of places. And people who haven't really like felt that don't understand. And people who don't understand chronic illness, my husband is chronically ill. He's got cyclical vomiting syndrome. He's had it for 7 years. People don't get it. Like people don't get things, like he's had kidney stones, cyclical vomit, all these things, PTSD, all this stuff. And being chronically ill is exhausting for everyone. I have celiac disease. I have PCOS. I'm exhausted. Like we're exhausted. But the moment we let go, all that exhaustion and anger and frustration turns into something new. It's renewed, right? We're renewed and we're filled by the faith of the spirit. And that's how this works. Like that's how this works. That's how this works. Oh goodness. So the battle's in our mind. Have a little faith, you guys. There's a war on for our mind. The Bible isn't kidding when it says put on the full armor of God. That's Ephesians 6:11. We are literally in a spiritual battle, whether you want to believe it or not. The angels are real, the demons are real. I've seen them. They're real. They walk with us right here. They're probably sitting right here with us now. Hello. You know, the battlefield is your mind. The battlefield is your thoughts. Doubt, fear, shame, depression, that constant little whisper, you're not good enough. You're never going to get a miracle. It's never going to happen for you. Why would it happen to you? That's me. That's mine. Why would it happen to you? Everybody's got all these things. Your brother has 2 beautiful kids. You'll never have kids. Yeah. I haven't been able to get pregnant on my own, and my brother's got 2 beautiful kids. And I'm like, thanks, God. But where do these thoughts come from, right? They don't belong to me. They don't belong to God. But most people just accept them and they just tune into this station they don't want to hear. And they get all these weird thoughts from frequencies that they don't even exist. Where are they coming from? What are you tuning into? We are radios. One of my mentors a long time ago, Dr. Piscopo, told me, like, I'm talking like 15 years ago, told me we're radios and the frequencies we tune into, the thoughts, they're just frequencies. They're not our own. Our thoughts are not our own. Some of them might be, but you'll know the ones that are and the ones that aren't if you're really in tune with yourself. So don't just accept any thought that comes to your mind. Have control over your thoughts, have control over your mind, have control over your body. Anchor in. Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. Anchor in, my friends. Anchor in with your checklist this morning, right now. Download the checklist with my release guide on www.lazyjwatson.com. Or go to the Rise and Shine with Morning Moon group and anchor in with the daily checklist. Okay. Don't just accept these thoughts. Guard your mind. We don't question narratives that are playing repeat in our heads, and we need to. So ask yourself these thoughts, these questions. Oh, Lord. What thoughts have you accepted that as truth that might not actually be yours? So go through the questions. Is this true? Am I absolutely certain that this is true? If this is true, what does it mean? And who would I be without that thought? And what belief is keeping you stuck in this version of yourself? What stories are you telling yourself that are giving you limitation? All these people talk about manifestation, but they don't really understand what it means. Woo! You don't understand. You don't get it, gals. Some of you do. Some of you really get it, and you're doing fab. Good job. You're helping raise collective consciousness, and I love you, and I'm here for it, girls. Girls, like, not even just the girls. Some of the men are too. The peeps. I'm here for it, peeps. I'm part of Girl Tribe. Sorry. If you're a man and you watch me, and I'm always referring to the girls, I'm part of Girl Tribe. That's where I live, I love men. I think they're great, but they ain't my tribe. If you want to, watch me, you can, but I'm going to be talking to the girls. So if your thoughts create your reality and thoughts are just frequencies, then what happens when you start choosing the ones that you tune into? What if you choose the radio station? Then you start to dance. Woo! We dance. Yeah. We dance like music. Yeah. That's right. So I have a challenge for you this week. I want you to do 2 things. 2 things. Thing number 1, sit in the uncomfortable. Sit with people you don't like. Sit with people that challenge you. Talk to people that you normally wouldn't talk to, whether they make you feel big, whether they make you feel small. Sit at the people who challenge you. Spend time with someone who makes you feel less than. Notice what that brings up. Spend time with someone who makes you feel impatient. Notice why. And then I want you to ask for a sign. Ask. I asked. I got an answer. It hasn't fulfilled, but I'm still, we'll see. I've got the faith of a mustard seed. Here I am. I'll tell you tomorrow how it goes. The truth is you're always being spoken to, whether you believe in communication beyond this life or not. Just ask. Pray, meditate, get still, pray in the shower. I pray in the shower all the time. And when something shows up, don't dismiss it. Don't just, that was just a coincidence. No, it's not. You're always being spoken to. You're always being guided, and you're never alone. You just have to tune in. So anchor in to your wellness foundations this morning. Tune in. You're meant to experience wonder. You were never meant to just get through life. Like, we're not here just to get through life. That's such, come on, guys, let's get with it. We want to raise collective humanity consciousness. You're meant to grow, to love, to break and rebuild. You're meant to connect. We're meant to connect to each other, to God, to build something bigger than ourselves. I will tell you guys about the story about something bigger than yourselves tomorrow. We'll talk about manifestation tomorrow, and I'll tell you mine. I've had some cool ones. I'm really excited. You can find some of my stories if you're like, oh, I want to know. Somewhere in my YouTube here on Wellness with Watson, there's the story about Florence and the Machine, the Florence and the Machine story, and something bigger than yourself. Oh my goodness. It was such a wild ride. Okay, you guys, that's leaving you with a teaser. You were meant to rise, rise and shine. So don't let this noise of the world get you out of the voice of truth. Get still, tune in, listen, and then rise and shine. Rise and shine. Make sure to anchor into your foundations. And if you're ready to shift your frequency, join my group experience at lacyjwatson.com. We start in 2 weeks. So if you're ready to really do something with your life, DM me, get in my inbox, fill out the application. It's application only. All right. So let's go. Let's go. All right. Subscribe and follow for more deep conversations. I hope you have a wonderful day.